Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into what is, without a doubt, one of the most incredibly satisfying underdog stories you're going to hear all year. We're talking about surviving a super toxic workplace, leveraging brand new tech, and achieving a level of pure, undeniable vindication that most of us literally only daydream about while sitting at our desks.
So have you ever been mocked just for dreaming a little too big? You know, it's a completely gut-wrenching experience, and honestly, it's exactly where our story kicks off today. We're going to look at what happens when an unnoticed, totally underappreciated employee is just relentlessly ridiculed by his boss and his coworkers. But here's the catch. Instead of getting mad, he makes this fascinating choice to answer all their cruel jokes with quiet, relentless execution.
Meet Riku. He was just an ordinary office guy, pulling insane hours for a seriously tiny paycheck. I mean, we're talking arriving way before sunrise, before anyone else even swiped their badges, and leaving long after dark. He was putting in the grueling work, just hoping to earn a tiny shred of respect, but instead, his reward was public humiliation. His boss would literally scream at him in front of the whole office over the tiniest, most insignificant things, day in and day out. And his coworkers, honestly, they were worse. They'd laugh behind his back, call him a total failure, and make these really cruel, targeted jokes, betting he was doomed to be a loser stuck in that dead-end job forever. They were actively rooting against him.
Section 1. The Secret Midnight Grind, Building an Escape Route.
Now, instead of snapping back at all that daily abuse, Riku made a quiet promise to himself to prove every single one of them wrong. And he didn't just mess around with AI. He built a hardcore, bulletproof system. First, he taught himself video editing. Then he started writing these really compelling stories, actually generated the anime scenes using AI tools, added music, and uploaded a short to YouTube every single day. The absolute game changer here is his crazy consistency. While the coworkers who mocked him all day were at home sleeping, Riku was grinding. He spent his nights mastering these 4 steps, and he never missed a single day. He was literally trading his sleep for his future.
And listen, this wasn't some overnight magic trick. For months, he did all of that work, lost all of that sleep, for literally 0 views. I mean, most people, especially if you're already exhausted by a toxic day job, would have totally thrown in the towel right there. But Riku? He endured that agonizing wait. He pushed right through the absolute silence. And then, bam, one morning, everything flipped. In just a matter of days, a sudden viral short totally catapulted him into the algorithm. Zoom out to the 1-year mark, and he had built one of the absolute biggest anime storytelling channels on the entire platform. No joke.
Section 2. The Viral Breakthrough, When Consistency Meets Opportunity. Riku had this fundamental belief that if he just kept putting in the reps, eventually his consistency would crash right into opportunity. And when it hit, oh man, it was massive. Millions. That's the number that suddenly completely defined Riku's life. Millions of views on a single anime short in just a handful of days. His subscriber count absolutely went through the roof. The momentum was just unstoppable. And almost immediately, major brands started knocking on his door, waving these incredibly lucrative sponsorships. So his reality shifted drastically, literally overnight. Gone was that tiny, stagnant office salary he was busting his back for from dawn to dusk. Instead, these massive YouTuber earnings quickly made his old paycheck look like pocket change. It totally transformed his life. He moved out, bought a gorgeous new apartment, and built this state-of-the-art professional studio so he could produce videos full-time. And super importantly for this next part, he went out and bought his absolute dream sports car. The guy who was literally the punchline of the office water cooler was now inspiring millions of people around the globe.
Section 3. The Shocking Resignation. Actions speak louder than words.
Because you see, a few weeks after hitting this massive wave of success, Riku decided it was finally time to officially pull the plug on that toxic company. He rolled up to his old office in that brand new sports car, and as he stepped out, his former boss and all those coworkers who had mocked him mercilessly, they recognized him instantly. But those smug, arrogant smiles they always wore when making jokes about him being a failure completely vanished. Poof. Replaced by pure, absolute shock and disbelief. Just imagine that scene for a second. The exact same people who looked down on him, the boss who shattered at him in front of everyone every single day, just completely stunned into silence, realizing just how incredibly wrong they had been.
The very same boss who used to humiliate him actually started stammering, trying to clumsily congratulate him, and the coworkers who loved to call him a loser, suddenly they're backpedaling hard, openly wishing they had believed in him from the start. But Riku, he didn't seek revenge. He didn't scream or hurl insults like they did to him. Instead, he just smiled, politely thanked them for teaching him the true value of determination, calmly handed his resignation letter to his bewildered boss and just walked away with total confidence. His massive success was, without a doubt, the absolute perfect silent mic drop.
Which brings us right to the core takeaway from Riku's incredible journey of quiet determination. Never underestimate someone who is quietly working toward their dreams, because today's unnoticed employee could become tomorrow's biggest success story. I mean, that quote just perfectly hits the nail on the head, right? It encapsulates the exact lesson that entire office was forced to learn that day. They totally judged a book by its cover, having no idea about the massive engine of ambition that was running quietly in the background. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. Who is the unnoticed employee in your life right now? Maybe it's a coworker you've been totally overlooking, a friend whose weird side hustle you haven't taken seriously, or hey, maybe it's even that quiet ambition within yourself that you've just been too afraid to unleash. Riku's story proves that the loudest person in the room is rarely the one building the biggest future. Sometimes the most powerful moves are being made in the quiet hours of the night. Keep that in mind, guys, and never stop building.